And right up there, we're kind of take a look at it as we're kind of stand in this area to see it. There's this stalagmite that I think kind of looks like a melted ice cream cone, but it also could kind of look like a person. Maybe sitting on top. When you're done, head down this way. We're going to take the time. Maybe. Only 6'7". Wow. This is the perfect place for me. Perfect height. Right here. Yep, I've gotten really good at ducking. Yeah. Okay, so above our heads here is a rare rock known as concrete. That is obviously not natural, but the floor is kind of natural, at least under the gravel. This is actually part of the original floor of Cathedral Hall, the big room I just left you guys in. This is part of that original floor. Directly above us is the eagle, that big flowstone that kind of looks like a bird I showed you. Directly above your heads here. I'll hide your back against this same wall and look up at it. And so they built this walkway above us, partially just to get a better view of that formation from higher up. Also makes a flat floor of the room above and makes the tour a complete loop, so we don't have to walk back through the way we came and run to other groups. And up ahead to the left is another view of that same waterfall you saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You see the fish?
Yeah, there's plenty. They talked about it already.
Yeah, I know, but I found the starting part and never saw him.
You didn't?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Found him in the picture. Just come and
Let's
take
do it.
care of
50 degrees.
All right, like I said, we're gonna head down this way there. Yeah, so here's another one of those really shallow pools of water. This one's even shallower, only about a 1/4 inch of water. And what you see on the ground is just a reflection of the ceiling. And a few stalagmites too.
It's only 1/4 of an inch. It looks like about
Whoa,
2
you
feet
see
deep.
this?
Yeah, really shallow.
Wow.
Look right here. See if it's that whole reflection
Oh
of the
my.
ceiling.
And this is another place where people have seen a lot of things. Over to the left in the red light, that rock looks a lot like Snoopy lying on his back.
Oh, it does.
Maybe on top of his doghouse. Then if you look at the ground and the green light back there, looks a lot like a fairy tale castle, kind of like a Disney castle, reflected off the ceiling. Then over to the right, kind of the pinkish light there, looks a lot like a hand, making the American Sign Language symbol for love, or really love other things, pretty common hand signal. And then way in the back to the right, have our 2 meatballs, one right there, one right there. And take your time, I'll be just up ahead here. more of that white calcite stuff up there. Another little stream down here to the left. Call this wet weather stream, just because it's very directly affected by how much rain there is outside. It doesn't rain for a while, it dries up. When it rains a lot, it can flood. Right now, there's a sump pump down there you might be able to see. Take the water out of here when it gets too high. But before that, the water would pretty regularly get up to about that white line you can see along the wall there. And a rather large thunderstorm. Sometimes it would even get all the way up to this walkway. Like the worst flood I know about was back in 1996 with Hurricane Fran. Well, the water got all the way up to about here on the wall.
Wow.
It came close for a very long time after that. Lots of ways to go. Pretty good example up there above you guys of some cave popcorn. That forms when there was water in here, it splashed up and wears away in different interesting ways on the ceiling, and it looks a lot like popcorn, called cave popcorn. And just behind me here, there is a very special part of the cave. This part was almost completely filled with mud when they found it. So you can kind of imagine a wall of mud that started about where these light switches are, and went all the way through the chambers about to walk through. They're all essentially filled with the ceiling with mud. Dr. Amos thought there could be something back there, so they started digging. And when he got to about where that door is today, he stuck a shovel in the mud but couldn't take it back out. He had some people come over and help him. When they eventually got the shovel out, he heard what he described as a shotgun-like blast, and his hat was literally stuck in that chamber. Now the reason is beyond that door was a partial vacuum, means the lack of most air and gases, kind of similar to space. And when he broke through that vacuum seal, all the air rushed in there, which is what made that loud sound and sucked his hat in. Yep, he didn't quite realize that at the time though. He was pretty terrified. He didn't go in there for about a week or so afterwards. But when he finally did, he found what this cave is most famous for, which are crystals called anthodites. And anthodites are made out of pure calcite, the same white mineral seen throughout the cave. They're also perfectly six-sided. And they've since been found in 3 other caves, so 4 in total if you include this one. This was the first place they were found, and Dr. Amos found them, so he did get to name them. And he chose the name anthodite after the Greek word anthos, meaning flower. So he kind of saw them as the closest thing you can get to flowers down in a cave. Name literally means cave flower. And the first few will be just past the door and up to the right. Like I said, first few, right up there, right. Also some a bit farther back to the right there, and some above the door too. I'll throw out this next passage.